questions. I can't let you get out of here without explaining this. The verse 2 says the earth was without form and void, and darkness was over the face of the deep. And you, my good brother, said this, and I'm probably paraphrasing. God does some of his best work when he forms out of darkness and nothingness. Can you explain that, my brother?
Oh man. So if you look at what God did in the Genesis text, um, everything that we see when we look out in nature, everything that we see, if we believe the text, when we look up in the sky, when we walk around out in nature, we look at the sea. God did all that according to the text in darkness. God brought all of this together in darkness. If we look at from a biological standpoint, when little C creators are growing, those little C creators are created. They are forming. We form in darkness. Um, so
Mm.
God creates other creators in darkness. I know that a lot of times we have associated darkness as being all bad. And I think it has been because most of what we have heard over the years about bad things happening, a lot of times bad things happen in darkness. I believe there was a song that said something about a certain type of person coming out at night. Um, but if we look at the fact of what God did when it was dark, then we'll understand that great things can happen in the darkness. Man, if you look at the history of this country,
Mm.
um, I mean, it's I can't go without saying this. It's Black History Month. There were some
Yeah.
dark times for our ancestors, but during those dark times, there were some things happening where God was working through the people, and in those dark times, and I mean brutal, crucial, I mean cruel times. Um, out of out of that came situations to where we now have things like the blues. Dr. James Cone used to talk about the spirituals and the blues. It was out of the
Mhm.
pain and the agony that our ancestors went through um, during that dark time that we have spirituals and blues now that we as as a people can go to when times get dark in our lives.
Yeah.
Where there have been plenty of times where things they didn't look too good for us, but we were able to go to the spirituals and the blues to help us.
Yeah.
So humanity, yes, humanity suffers um, during dark times. Um, but according to several of the texts, God did some some amazing things during those dark times. Going back to the last time I was with you all, uh, look at the situation of Hagar. That man,
Mm.
that was a dark time for this sister, man.
Yeah.
But during that dark time, God blessed the sister. So that's what I meant by that. There are several texts that show that yes, as human beings, it's not a cakewalk. Suffering
Mhm.
happens. It hurts. It's mind boggling. We ask the question, how long do we have to go through this? But God's working in the process, and that's what I mean about God doing some great work. Um, we may not be able to see it at the time, but God's doing something in the background
Yes.
um, to bless humanity.